Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 2059. The topic is mindset, and the title is Metrics versus Meaning. One of my business clients, we were doing a phone call this past week. So they're a personal trainer, and we do a Zoom meeting every week to discuss questions, topics, and kind of progress their vision and their business just to help them make a bigger difference in the world. I absolutely love that service. It's one of my favorite things I get to do. So I enjoy it, and I appreciate everybody who does that with me. So thank you very much. This client wants to reach more people and make more money. Makes sense, right? As a personal trainer. We're working to prepare them for a classic physique competition in 2025. The change in the quality of their physique will grow their business. Documenting their journey will grow the business. And then through their programming, I'm teaching them nutrition coaching and training programming strategies that they can then use for their clients. So overall, it'll make everything better in their journey for them and for their clients. In our discussion this past week, he mentioned that he felt discouraged by social media. He doesn't have a lot of followers on TikTok and Instagram, and he's been posting videos on YouTube, which he's new to doing, but it hasn't been going well. He doesn't have a lot of views, and just before our call, he got a negative comment. A person commented on his video that he shouldn't be making videos because he looks so average. What would he know? And he's like, man, that was, a kick in the pants. He was telling me, he's like, you get a comment like that, and you start to think, why even bother? There's, professional bodybuilders, there's professional strongmen, there's professionals in pretty much all fitness realms that have YouTube videos now. People who have achieved the highest of the highs do social media. We actually have access to the people who do the best in the world now. I remember when I started before the internet, you had to have like magazine articles, or maybe somebody would publish a book and you could read that. But access to the best in the world was very, very, it was relatively non-existent compared to today's social media reach. So they were thinking to themselves as, just so discouraged, why even bother? Who am I to do all this? The kind of thing. So after they were done talking, I looked at him and I said, are your clients happy? He looked confused at first. And he said, well, I think so. And I said, well, no one's running out the door to leave you, right? And he laughed and said, thankfully, no. And I pointed out that actually last week we had to reschedule our call because you were getting more client. You got another client, and that kind of conflicted with some things, and we had to rearrange things. And he said, yeah. So I said, the metrics we measure success by can sometimes cloud our vision of success. If I asked you what the meaning of you becoming a personal trainer was, you'd likely say it was to help other people. But if I asked how you were measuring that, you'd likely give me your social media following, total client count, and how much money you make. But are those direct measurements of helping people? We went on to discuss that the metrics he was using were helpful. They were indicators of what was happening towards the ultimate goal. But they aren't the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal isn't to bump up those metrics, to have the most followers in the world, make the most money in the world, to have the most clients in the world. You don't have to have the most of those in order to be successful. The ultimate goal, the ultimate definition of success is, are you helping people? And even if the metrics seemed low, not enough social media followers, not enough clients, not making $1 million a year, he was still helping people. What was interesting was, I mentioned to him, it's similar to when people come to us as personal trainers and they say, I want to lose weight. What they actually want is to look better. They want to look better naked or in clothes, or just in some way they want to look better. And often that actually requires that they build muscle, which makes them weigh more. As they lose body fat, which definitely makes them weigh less, but throughout the whole process, they may actually not lose that much weight. In fact, I've had clients, and he has also had clients, that weighed more at the end of the process, but they were truly happy because they looked better. And this is because they came to us like skinny fat. So they were under-muscled and over-fat, so we brought the muscle up, the fat down, and they look great, but they might not have weighed much different versus somebody who's obese, or they have 50, 60, 70 pounds they have to lose. They're definitely going to weigh less at the end, yes. But maybe they thought they had to lose 50, but they only lose 35, and they look amazing. That is very common, extremely common. So the person's weight is a metric, but it's not the meaning. The meaning for them is to look better in the mirror, to look at themselves in photos and be happy with what they see. In the conversation, what was actually funny was I pointed out that my client has more social media followers than I do. I don't even have TikTok. I only have 1,800 followers on Instagram, only 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. But I'm able to help my client. I asked him, I said, "Are you happy?" And he laughed and he said, "Yes." And I said, "There you go." So I started my personal training career at 18. I started training friends at 16, but I started making money doing this at 18 years old. I didn't get on Facebook until I was 24. I didn't get Instagram and YouTube until after I started Brutal Iron Gym in 2011. I didn't start the podcast until late 2017. I very much enjoy social media. I truly do, and I wish I could put out more content. One of the greatest struggles I have every day is doing my client work and then getting to do enough content. I do a podcast pretty much every day. I've been pretty slack here in 2024. I have missed days. But I do a podcast pretty much every day, hence why there's 2,059 of these. I try to post on Instagram as often as I can, which is pretty much every day. A couple days here and there, missed when I travel. And I try to put on things on YouTube now, which is a little bit of a challenge because you have to edit it to make sure that it's palatable and people will watch it. But editing takes time. I love doing all that. I absolutely do. I love it, love it, love it. But why I didn't start those things earlier was I was busy focusing on my clients. I focused on the meaning of what I do, not as much on the metrics. And I'm actually working to correct that. I swung the other way. I didn't do enough metric stuff. I wish I would have done more when I was younger. But in a good way, the reason why I didn't was because I was just so busy training people and clients. And, I was training 10, 12 hours a day of like 1 hour straight people. So 10 to 12 people per day, 1 hour each person, back to back to back to back to back. You get some food, take a nap if you can, just survive. But I was enjoying it. I was loving it. I was dead tired. But I was loving it because I was making a difference. I was helping people. I could see the faces of the people and they were smiling. They were happy. You get excited by, like, in the middle of the workout, you're firing up because you can see things moving well. You can see them gaining confidence. Oh, it's addicting. It's absolutely addicting. That's what I was focused on, was the meaning, not the metrics. There's a balance though, because the metrics are helpful. And if used correctly, they can enhance the meaning. But the meaning is still the meaning. The meaning is still the ultimate focus. If you're a personal trainer, the metrics are how many people are you reaching? But the meaning is how many people are you helping? If you want to be successful in your career, the metric is typically salary. But the meaning is feeling that you serve a purpose. And you're fulfilling that purpose. If you want to be successful as a parent, the metrics, probably financial security and being able to give your kids opportunities. But the meaning of being a parent is that your kids feel loved. In all of our pursuits in life, there's a meaning and then there are metrics. Metrics are helpful to guide our efforts, but they aren't the meaning. Don't get lost in focusing on the metrics as the purpose of what you're doing. Keeping the meaning in mind will help you weather the ups and downs, the struggles, the challenges you'll face, the negative comments you might get along the way. Focusing on the meaning can help you be more consistent, and it can help you enjoy the process. It's not the metrics that determine success. It's the meaning. What am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? Keep the answer to that question as true to your meaning as possible. What am I doing this for? When you struggle, when you feel sad, when you feel depressed, ask yourself, what am I doing this for? As a personal trainer, if you don't have a lot of social media followers, what am I doing this for? Am I doing it for social media followers? No, I'm doing it to help people. If I lose a client or two, well, I still have other clients, and I'm going to focus harder onto them. If I'm not making, $1 million and maybe I have to do it part-time and get another part-time job, that's okay. What am I doing it for? I'm doing it to help people. And am I helping people? Yes. Do I hope to be able to help enough people to have it be a full-time job eventually? Hell yes, right? But you can continue to put in effort. You can continue to be proactive. You can continue to move forward by knowing that you are currently helping people. You want to do it more? Yes. But at least you're doing it now. If you want to be successful in your career, but you don't make a lot of money, well, that's something you want to hopefully be able to improve. Maybe you can make some moves where you are. Maybe you can transition to a new job eventually. But remind yourself every day, if you're struggling to go in because you're working your butt off but you're not making a lot of money, what am I doing this for? I'm fulfilling a purpose. Do I feel like I'm doing something meaningful in my job? If you don't have that feeling, then damn, that's going to stink, and you might want to kind of push harder into looking for new jobs and find a way to create meaning. Maybe you can talk to your boss, get an additional project to work on. Maybe there's something you can do to guide and help someone new in the company. Can you teach somebody else what you do? Find a way to create the meaning. Because it's the meaning that'll push you forward, not the metrics. It's the meaning that'll push you forward. So when you struggle, when you feel discouraged, ask yourself, what am I doing this for? And remind yourself that the meaning should always remain the focus. Okay. If you have any questions, if you need anything, always reach out on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. You can scroll to the bottom of the homepage. There's a contact form. You can send me any questions you want at any time, and I'll always get back to you. If you like the podcast, please share the podcast. The more people we share it with, the more people we can help. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do on our website. And if you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. Ooh, the metrics. You can find us and please follow us on Instagram and YouTube. And that'll just help kind of grow out the business and help extend our reach. And then hopefully with a greater reach, we can fulfill our meaning even more. But you can find us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful. And thank you for listening.